Thanks, mate. It's that time of month. Yeah, it's that time of month. Rapping Levi is the best. He's actually not. Don't listen to me at all. Hi everybody, I'm going to go and do my usual sharing routine. I'm also going to make sure the audio looks like it's working. That all looks okay. You should be getting desktop audio at some point. For the next few hours. Need to do my my least favourite, which is the Instagram, right? Do this once a month. You think I'd be used to it now? Why did I write live for the next? We're only live for the next. There we go. Get this up in the Patreon group. Having a song, having a dance. I'm trying to stay positive. I don't know why I wouldn't be. Why is Facebook so damn slow? Get your comments, questions in, all of that good stuff. I will be reading them in a second once I've done the the sharing thing. Let's do Instagram. Cool. My favourite. Sup guys, it's that time of month again. Yes. That's me, streaming live on YouTube, so come and check me out. I'll be online for the next, 2-3 hours, something like that. Going to be transcribing some Beatles, transcribing some Joe Bonamassa, just having a good time in general. Anything that you want to say, ask, get involved, heading over to my YouTube channel, and hopefully I'll see some of you there. Laters. So we've got some comments coming in. Ivan, this is public. As intended, this one's supposed to be public. Unlike the accidental private stream that I streamed publicly last time. That was an experience, not gonna lie. So I'll give you the update speech in a second. I'm just going to post this on Patreon because, Patreon is really important, and I want the people, and there's some of you online now I've seen, I want the people that support me on Patreon to know how important you are to me. So I'm logging into my Patreon now so I can do an update for those guys. This stream should be really fun. Should be. They always should be fun, right? But they very rarely are, because you're just watching some guy transcribe music and talk bollocks. This one's also immediately going to get a copyright strike because I'm using a YouTube video of a Beatles cover that has 2 million views, and anytime I've even had a second of a clip in it, so anytime I've used a second of it as a clip in anything, the video immediately gets claimed. So yeah, this will be fun. Oh. Right. I think that's everything I'm supposed to do. Let's bring the comments up and we'll do the talk. Alan, please play the Beatles riffs on my Ormsby. I don't have an Ormsby here. So, yeah, you'll have to talk to Perry about that one. Man, you can't transcribe Eric Gale's chord stuff. He plays upside down. You can't copy his thing. You'll never get it right. Anyway, yeah, so this is my monthly live stream. I stream as the name would suggest, once a month. I do some transcribing work and the like. Supposed to have fun, but instead I just bore you with my nonsense. I'm trying to think. So what's new in my life? As you can tell, I'll make sure I've got the right screen up. Yeah, as you can tell, I'm still not in my studio. I'm still sat in my dining room because my studio still isn't ready. It's taking forever, guys, but we will absolutely get there. Don't worry. It's just going to take a little bit of time. And when I say a little bit of time, a lot of bit of time. My father-in-law's coming over tomorrow. We've got some work to do in it. And this is all still work that I didn't know it needed doing. And I think for anyone that's bought a house, you'll know this. You look around a house before you buy it and you go, yeah, this looks great. And then as soon as you move in, you start noticing all these things that you should have absolutely noticed when you were looking around. I probably should have noticed when I was looking at the garage that the roof wasn't actually attached to the garage. It was just sitting on top of it. So tomorrow I'm fixing the roof to the garage. I've been out digging drainage, it's actually because it's Scotland, so it's rained now. So I currently have literally a moat around my garage now, a moat of water. So that's fun. I'll be doing some of that tomorrow to install a French drain because we need to drain the water away from the garage. Yeah, not even going to go down the route of that one. What else are we doing tomorrow? I am expanding foam in a lot of the roof panels just to make sure that there's no air gaps, nothing's getting in or out, because we want it to be as sealed as possible. And clearing it out. Then we can start getting onto the thing that I thought I'd be doing weeks ago, which is building the stud walls. But, as I said, we'll get there. We will get there. I should also say that, of course, this stream is brought to you by me and my books. So that is a big part of how I make a living. So if you want to support me and support this channel and you don't want to join me on Patreon, a great way of doing that would be to head on over to Amazon, look for Levi Clay, and you'll see all of my books there. I want to recommend you one in particular, but I can't recommend one in particular because I'm proud of all of them. I put a lot of work into all of them. I'm working on another one at the moment. Give it a spin. Give one of them a spin and drop a review on Amazon. It's always a big help. And of course, brought to you by my supporters over on Patreon. Lovely, friendly, wonderful, talented supporters. Generous, kind-hearted, good-looking. Just need that to line up. That doesn't line up at all. That will annoy me immensely. That looks better. Talented, generous, lovely people. These people have, been part of my crew now for a couple of years, and it's awesome. Again, it's another great way to support the channel, and you can do so for as little as $1. So check me out on Patreon. So does anyone have any questions? Anything you want to talk to me about before I get started with the transcribing stuff? I'm going to start by transcribing some Joe Bonamassa today. This normally, obviously, these study club streams, these transcription streams, the point of these is they are supposed to be sort of supplementary content for my Patreon supporters. Every month there I pick some things that I want them to transcribe and I say, right, you go away and transcribe it, and then I do a video of me actually transcribing the thing and talking you through the process, and then we can sort of compare our notes, compare work, and help you get better at that sort of thing. This month, it's only one track we've picked, but I want to do both the guitar and the voice, which should be fun. It was also pointed out halfway through the month that this track has already been transcribed by the person that played it. And it's on SoundSlice. I looked at his SoundSlice of it, ours will be better, let's put it like that. So that's always fun. But I've also got some transcribing work, some actual, paid work that I need to get done. It's a Joe Bonamassa clip, and I thought that I'd just knock that out now because it's not going to take. Well, hopefully it won't take that long. I'm doing this for a long-term friend and client of mine who he sends me some stuff once a month, maybe just a few little bits and pieces that he's enjoyed watching, and of course that's a great way to support the channel. If you need or want any sort of transcribing done, hit me up. That's what I do, right? That's fun. So this. Oh, look, Jennifer has shared my post. How sweet. I can't imagine Jennifer or any of Jennifer's friends are going to want to watch my stream, but Still appreciate it nonetheless. I can't believe I haven't said that, right? Yeah, so let's do that. If you enjoy what you're watching now, if you like, well, you're probably not enjoying it yet, I've not really started doing anything, but if you like these streams and you want to help out and you don't want to support me financially, you can always support me spiritually. Let's go with spiritually, just by liking, commenting, and sharing the video with someone you know. That's a great way to get me out there. Give the gift of Levi, as they say. I also forgot, you can see it on screen obviously, but this video is also brought to you by VPix, my friends over at VPix. Vinny, I've used VPix for many, many years, almost 10 years now. And yeah, love them. Couldn't use anything else. Absolutely love them. So it's nice to be working with those guys. So please do head on over to VPix website. You can use the code FRIENDOFLEVI and that'll get you 20% off, I think. Yeah. Last time I checked, that worked. So, yeah, do that. It's a great way to show them that, that supporting me is of use to them. So that's absolutely appreciated. Right, so what are these comments and questions we've got coming in? Richard Allen asked, did the transcribing deal come natural to you, or was it a comfy... I'm not entirely sure what you mean by that, Richard. Did the transcribing deal come natural to you, or was it a comfy seat from the get-go? Both of those sound the same to me. A comfy seat would be easy, right? Did transcribing come naturally to me? Well, the concept was always very natural, right? Just right there when I said the concept, I understand that when you hear a sound, it has pitch, right? And if I can find out what that pitch is, then it's all about the context of the rhythm. So understanding where the pulse is and how to notate in relation to that rhythm. Now, that didn't come naturally. That wasn't something that was quick. I think that's always sort of like underestimated, right? You guys see me doing all this transcribing really fast without a guitar. But, how would, as guitar players or instrument players or whatever it is, whatever you're good at, whatever your talent is, right? If someone turns around to you and says, "Oh, you're really good at that. Wow, I wish I could be as good as you at the thing that you're doing," right? You know how annoying that is, don't you? You know from first-hand experience how annoying that is. And I'm not saying that you're annoying me by asking the question, but I'm saying that you know that that's annoying because you know how much work went into what you're doing, right? So transcribing is very natural to me, but in the same way that you're good at guitar, it's only natural to me because I've done it a lot. And when I say a lot, this is what people really struggle with, right? I mean a lot. I mean, like, how Steve Vai would practice guitar for 10 hours a day, right? I transcribe for 10 hours a day. Well, not so much anymore, but there have absolutely been times in my life where I was transcribing for 10 hours a day because I needed to for work or, it was a combination of these two things. I'd need to do it for work, so I'd transcribe for 7 hours or whatever. And then when I was done transcribing the things I was being paid to transcribe, it would be like, cool, well, now there's this thing that I wanted to learn and this thing that I wanted to understand, so I would transcribe those too. So the transcribing thing, it didn't come naturally, but because I put a lot of time into it, things picked up and it got easier and easier as I went along. So, I'd say that. It's the struggle that, if you've done any guitar teaching, you'll know this, right? The struggle and the pain of being a guitar teacher is that you teach guitar and your students come in for their lessons. And every week you ask the same question. How did your practice go? And very rarely do you have a student that comes back with, "Oh, yeah, it was excellent. Yeah, I was having so much fun with it," right? The response is always them trying to justify why they haven't done very much, right? And yeah, nowhere is that truer than with transcription. Transcription is an amazing skill. It's easy to work on. It's easy to get good at. You just have to devote yourself to it, right? You just have to, wizardry through practice. You just have to stick to it and just be more and more and more dedicated to it. That applies to anything, right? Anything that you want to do. Very few things that you're just naturally very good at. I've got good at transcribing, but it's purely through exposure, practice, and it's very easy to practice something hard if you love the thing that you're practicing. And I love music. And I love learning about things and I love breaking things down. And to me, it was always very much like the idea of a puzzle, solving a puzzle. Now, I've not done jigsaw puzzles in years, but any mind puzzles, anything where there's a solution that needs to be found, and at the end of it, you can take a step back and say, "I did that." That sense of pride, right? Building something, whatever it happens to be. Some people get enjoyment out of putting Lego together. I'm one of them, right? It's cool starting with those instructions and then taking a step back and going, right, now I'm going to put in the hours into putting this thing together. I'm going to put it together, and at the end of it, I can take a step back and say, I did that. So when I listen to a piece of music and I have a blank piece of paper, and then at the end of it, I can take a step back and go, I did that. I like that feeling, and that's what sort of, allowed me to keep going with it because I enjoyed it. So Fabian, don't you have trouble with your hands using the PC for such long periods of time transcribing? Yes, I do. Yeah. I've got a lot better with it. Back in the day, it was really bad. I'll just bring you up so I can see, so I can address you directly. Back in the day, it was really bad, and it was because I would be sitting. I was actually using a laptop originally, and I would have a tracker pad on it. So I would put my hand to the tracker pad, I'd move around with my finger, and then I would have to go up to the top of the keyboard to press one of the numbers that were all across the top to input some tab, and then I would have to go back to the tracker pad, and then over to my guitar, and then to the tracker pad, and then to the numbers, and then to the guitar, the tracker, and it was just that over and over and over for hours and hours a day. And I do have bad wrists because of that. It's not masturbating, I promise. So that was bad, but very much like just any form of guitar practice, you just need to make sure that you are using minimal effort, right? You're not straining yourself. So now when you watch me transcribe, things are a lot more efficient. I can do most of my transcribing. I don't use a guitar anymore because I don't really need it. I can do most of my transcribing with my hand just rested. I'm just going to pick my keyboard up. With my hand just rested here, I don't actually have to move my hand. I can get just about everything I need under my hand like this. There are a few buttons that I'll need over here, but I've got my left hand for that. Sometimes I will have to go over to the mouse, but very rarely because I've got all of my hotkeys here under my hands. I can't recommend that enough. Getting to know your software in a way that allows you to use it with minimal stress on your body is a great use of your time. I probably wouldn't be here if I was still doing it the way that I was doing it before. My wrists probably would have broken and my hands would have fallen off my body. So, I'd say that. All right, let me see what's going on Facebook. Oh. Look, if you come any closer than my hand, then people will be able to see you.
Exactly. Need more than one hand. You're gonna drop it all. You're gonna drop it. Put it down. Stop being silly.
Thanks.
Nice.
Do you want to say hello? There you go. Waving hand. I think the boys want to join me. I mean, I don't feel realistically that I can sit and eat food while I'm doing this, though, because it'll be just, especially if you just want me some fudge in, it'll be just... So we'll try not to do that. Which is going to kill me because I'm looking at that fudge now and I'm just like, oh, that looks delicious. Anyway, where are we? I was checking Facebook. That's what I was doing. Sorry. So nothing there. Right, what have we got here? Is the Millennium Falcon complete? Oh, Dan. You bring up a touchy subject. That is a painful subject for me. The Millennium Falcon is not finished. I honestly don't know if I'm going to finish the Millennium Falcon, not because I can't finish it, but because I was putting it together while moving house, right? Well, I started building it when we owned our house, and then we decided we were going to sell the house. I had to move house. And I managed to take it out of my house and put it into my car, and then transport it from my car to my my mother and father-in-law's house, and I kept it there while we stayed with them for a couple of weeks, and I continued building it while I was there, and I made a lot more progress on it, and then I had to then take it from their house, put it into my car, and move it to the new house. And in picking it up and taking it from their house to my car, so many bits were falling off of it, and then I put it in the car and more bits fell off of it, and then when I had to pick it up and take it out of the car, even more bits fell off of it. Now, of course, it still looks very much intact, right? But I do have a collection of bits that have fallen off of it. And there's no real way to know where the hell they go unless you're going to want to sit back through every single page of the instructions. And I've gone through over 1,000 separate instructions for this now, to know where these pieces have come from. And yeah, so I could sort of do like a patch job and put them in where I think they go and then finish it off. And I don't know, one day I'm probably going to do that, aren't I? Right. But I'm always going to know. I was like, I could really do have a drink there. And then my wife bought me a drink. Oh, love a bit of Fanta Icy Lemon. Very cold too. Cool. So yeah, it's absolutely killing me. Absolutely killing me, mate. That I can't really do it the way I want it to be done. Because when it's done, there'll be that niggling feeling in the back of my mind of, are there bits missing? It's annoying too because it kind of sucked the joy of Lego out of me a little bit, because I have quite a few other Lego sets that need put together. I've got the big the X-Wing, and I've got the big TIE Fighter. So I thought it'd be cool to have the Millennium Falcon, the X-Wing, the TIE Fighter, and my wife bought me the Mini Cooper and things like that. There's also a Harley Davidson Fat Boy that I want to buy. But I can't bring myself to do it, and it's making me sad. Also, I'll be honest, I fill most of my time outside of work now with Magic the Gathering, so it's hard finding time for Magic, for guitar when I'm just playing Magic all the time. So, favourite 3 classical pieces. Favourite 3 classical pieces. I mean, I don't consider myself to be in the classical world anymore, in the slightest. So I'm going to be really, really cliche about this. I'll be honest. I'll be completely honest with you, right? So I spent a lot of time in the classical world because I wouldn't say I was classically trained, but I did, classical music education in high school and college. That's what I qualified in. So it was something that I had to spend a lot of time in and around. I can sit and talk to you a lot more about composers, but when I do that, it very much feels like I'm giving you a history lesson. It's not something I was ever hugely passionate about. The only things I was passionate about were things that real classical musicians don't consider to be, worthwhile classical things. You have, like, I hate it when rock guitar players say, "Oh yeah, I love Paganini." It's like, do you though? I don't love Paganini, to be completely honest with you. I went for a long period of trying to learn all of the 24 caprices from my violin notation. And the one that I spent the most time in was Caprice number 16 in G minor. I really like the Paganini's 16th Caprice. But, as far as music goes, it's nothing, is it? It's nothing to write home about. It's a trick piece, right? I also really enjoy the Bach inventions, all of Bach's inventions, the 2-part inventions, because I spent a lot of time playing and practicing those. So these are all cliche. Yeah. Well, so it's not really saying cliches for a reason, because you could sit and start listing off all of these like out there composers, and pieces. But the thing with classical music is it's so broad, right? You've got so many like Thomas Tallis, right? That's old. Tallis is a very, very old composer, like Renaissance era composition, and I can sit and put on like some of Talas's pieces and enjoy, the atmosphere that it creates. But you move into the Baroque era, and of course you've got composers in there that are great. You move into the classical era, and awesome, cool, great. Romantic, I really like romantic composers. And then you move in. Then you can move into the modern era, and what more can I say? Like, I would rather listen to Shostakovich than I would Mozart. But yeah, so I'll leave it at that because I'm not going to sit and pretend to be a classical music knob. Classical music snob is what I meant to say there. What's your advice for someone who has never transcribed on a computer but wants to give it a go? So what that would suggest to me, what is this? El Punda Bjerg? Ulpunt? You know what your name is. What that would suggest to me is that you maybe have some experience transcribing using pen and paper, right? So if you have experience using pen and paper, you understand the principles of writing things down. If I bring up Transcribe for you, so I have Transcribe here, it's not Transcribe, sorry, Guitar Pro, you can spend time, inputting a number and then coming over here and selecting the rhythm that you want and then moving to the next note, but really just using the arrow keys and plus and minus. When I press minus and plus, you can see the rhythm is changing. So I press plus and the rhythm becomes quicker. Press minus and the rhythm becomes shorter. So using those, I can write any rhythm down I need to. If I needed to write, for some reason, the theme to EastEnders, ba 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 da ba 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 bum 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 ba bum ba 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 bum da 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 da. Yeah. What? Did that half time for some reason. So I've just done that without using the mouse, right? That would be what I would recommend. Like, not this particular melody, but just taking any old melody and writing it out. Star Wars. Ba, ba, bum. Yeah. Bum, ba, ba, da, da, da. Ba, ba, ba. Yeah, ba, ba, ba. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, ba, ba. Ba, ba, ba. Ba, ba, ba. Da, 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 da. Yeah, bum. Ba, 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 ba. an A in there. I'd have to check. But yeah, that would be what I'd recommend. Just pick a melody, write it out. Pick a melody, write it out. Pick a melody, write it out. And the skill that you're looking to develop when you do that is you are looking to understand the input method in the software more so than develop the ability to transcribe, right? Because if you already have experience transcribing, the only thing you're looking to introduce to the equation is the ability to know how to fluidly input that into the software. So that's what I would say there. What have we got going on here? Best guitarist that I've seen live. Never been to an instrumental guitar concert. Are they any fun? Ooh, that's a hot question. I have been to many, many, many instrumental guitar things in my years. So many. Mainly because, I've really been into the jazz and blues thing for years now. So, I've been to see not just instrumental guitar things, I've been to see things where there's no guitar. And that's cool, right? Or enjoy it because it's something that I'm genuinely very into. But when it comes to instrumental electric guitar, I can't think of anything worse now. I recently, I say recently, I can't remember when it was, but I went to see Tesseract with, who did I go see Tesseract with? Was Connor at that? I can't remember who went to that with me, but I went to see Tesseract, right? And they were being supported by Between the Buried and Me and Pliny. And we got there just before Pliny's last song. And everyone was like, cool, let's go in and check out Pliny's last song. And I said, man, I'm just going to hang at the merch stand. And they were like, why? And I said, honestly, I cannot think of anything that I want to do less in my life right now than go and stand in a room and listen to people play instrumental music, guitar music. Because I just lost a passion for it. It was similar like when I went to see the band Chon. They played great. They played really well, but there was just something about it where I was looking around the room and I just saw a bunch of people sat there with their arms crossed, listening and who knows, analysing, jacking off over the concept. And it just really didn't do anything for me. I didn't want to be that person. And actually, this is relatively consistent with my output. If you think about it, if for those of you that have followed me for a long time, you know that I put out an album a few years ago. I did 2 versions of the same pieces of music. I did vocal songs, and that's the album that you can buy on CD called Out of the Ashes by Hellcat Molly, because that's who I am. I'm a song person. I'm a songwriter. I want to express myself more so than just with a melody. I want there to be a melody, sure, but I also want to tell a story. I want to express myself, get something off my chest. So that was, what always drove me. And I did an instrumental version just because people wanted it, but it wasn't really, where my heart was. The heart was in playing the melody, in singing melodies, right? Not that I sung on the album, but so that doesn't mean to it goes both ways. I've been to see great instrumental guitar players, really, really, really good instrumental guitar players, and I've been to see some incredible guitar players that play in bands. Who's the best that I have seen live? I hate the word best. No, actually, it's a relatively easy one. Joey Landreth. Joey Landreth just absolutely knocks my socks off every time I see him play. Every single time I see him play. He just does stuff there's just such a connection between that inner musical voice and the instrument. So Joey absolutely blows me away. I saw Derek Trucks. I hate using the word because I'm not a spiritual person, but that was spiritual. I couldn't believe how much I connected with his playing when he played. So that was cool. Jimmy Herring was amazing when I saw him live. Michael Romeo, fantastic when I saw him live. I've seen him live several times as well. I mean, Guthrie. We can't, although he's not Flavour of the Month anymore, to downplay how good he is just because you've been overexposed to it would be foolish, right? I used to go and see him play every week at the Basement in Chelmsford with the Fellowship, and that man is just on another level, like freakishly good. I've seen Mike Stern a hell of a lot as well. I used to go see Mike play every time he was in town, and he's incredible. Yeah, too many, honestly, mate. Too many to name. Too many to name. Stay Metal Ray, how's it going, dude? How is it going? Did that V ever show up? I remember seeing you saying that it was happening. I'm talking out my arse. I remember seeing a post that you got it. That's awesome. Have you been in touch with the guy since, or? And then we have the Dame09, Sup Levi, and then says it's Dan. I mean, should that be Dam? D-A-A-M? Is it Dan? Dean? Dane? Who knows? Who knows? Yes, Joey is doing a Brothers Landrift tour. In fact, damn it, I just dropped my bottle lid on the floor. I've still not got tickets for it. Let me just see when that is, because I remember posting it on Instagram. I was sure I posted it on Instagram. Maybe it was on Facebook. Probably on Facebook. Was it a picture? I don't bloody know. Let's have a look. When are the Bros Landrift playing Glasgow? I have to get tickets, obviously. 17th of November. That's fine. On sale now. £16. So, yeah, I'll be going to see that because that'll be Joey and Ariel posing. So, Mr. M, do I gent? No, not really. Gent is a genre that I'm definitely fascinated with. I really, really enjoy gent. In my car right now, I have Monuments on. Their first album, Gnosis. Like John Brown in particular, like absolutely does it for me. He's one of my favourite guitar players, and why wouldn't he be? Because he's got he's all about the rhythm and the riff, and he's so tight, and he just creates these just brutal grooves. And I love Meshuggah, absolutely love Meshuggah. They're one of my favourite metal bands. Like before I had Monuments in the car, it was Meshuggah's Nothing, and that was just on just relentlessly. And I'll go between that and whatever it happens to be. I'm just reading Dan's comment. I realised I need to read Fabian's comment. You're also using Transcribe. Love it. Any tip for syncing the video up with the audio when it's slow, like 50%? It's not good at working, at least on my laptop. Yes and no. What I find is that's like a GPU processing thing. If your computer doesn't have a shit ton of power behind it, not a shit ton, but enough, it will lag a little bit. But you can offset it with this here. When I do this, I'm dragging the frames of the track back, so I can move it up to 50 frames early or 50 frames late. Now, I'm sure they're frames. Now, as you know, this will be recorded at 24 frames per second, so you've got the option to move the track. Oh, you can't see, can you? Sorry. There we go. This button here in the video scroll bar, you've got the option to move this back and forward, and this is me moving the frames, shifting the track along by frames, but it's not moving the audio at all. It's just how the video plays in relation to the audio track, and you've got the option to move it up to minus 50 frames that way or minus 50 frames that way, or anywhere in between. And as you know, there's 24 frames per second, so that's giving you 2 seconds of video to play with, so you can really tweak that and make sure that it's in time. So that'd be the tip that I'd give you there, my friend. 39 minutes. Just mentally preparing myself to actually do some work. I'd rather just sit and chat with you guys. Oh, Cheeto, you've never heard of Joey Landriff? My God, that guy is outrageously good. I did. There's an interview with him on my channel that's worth checking out to try and get in his head. It's actually just reminded me seeing Dan Smith in here posting that his band, the Swing Commanders, they just had a new record come out. I've not listened to it yet. Is that on Spotify, Dan? Let's have a look. Because, you know, I don't buy music anymore. Yeah, In Transit is cool. I'm gonna save this. How the hell do I do that? Save to your library. There we go. That makes sense. Yeah, so those of you that are unfamiliar with Dan and his work, outside of course, you know, the Guitar Hour and his own Instagram, which is great to follow. The band that he plays, not his band, but the band he plays in, the Swing Commanders, are absolutely fabulous. Though, strangely, they never, ever play in Scotland. Or at least they never, ever have public functions anywhere that I could go. I would love to go to another Swing Commanders gig and take my wife and dance. I'm more confident with my dancing now. What program do I use to edit videos? I use, I was going to say Sony Vegas, but it's not. It's Magix Vegas, because Sony sold Vegas to Magix. So yeah, would I recommend it? Yeah, I do like Vegas. I bought it. I own it. I own a copy of the software. I didn't download it, so I didn't download it illegally. So yeah, I find that's generally quite important. Spending money on the software that you want to use, because I think that when you spend a bunch of money on something, you are more inclined to try and get the value out of it, rather than just treating it as something that you have. It's something that you bought, something that you own. So. Jeff has been digging into some of the country lessons I did for Premier Guitar. Got some of my books. Awesome. Thank you so much, Jeff. I really appreciate that. I have no idea what that is, Dan. Here we go. Thanks for the advice. What's your favourite string instrument other than guitar? That's so easy. So easy to answer. Pedal steel. The pedal steel guitar. I own a pedal steel. In fact, currently when I'm talking to you, my PC is... my monitors are here and they're raised off the desk and they are resting on top of my pedal steel guitar case. That's where my pedal steel lives, because I can't do that instrument any justice. But absolutely pedal steel. When you say what's your favourite string instrument other than the guitar, the pedal steel is my favourite string instrument, including the guitar. I think the pedal steel is just such an outrageously beautiful instrument. So there you go, pedal steel. As it's well known, you know, Alan Holdsworth would like to have gone back and not played guitar. Would like to have played something like the saxophone, right? And while there was a period where I thought I wish I played the saxophone, no, it's all about the pedal steel. I wish I was a pedal steel player. Hey Levi, is a thicker neck easier to play than a thinner one for someone with big hands? Or is it totally down to what's comfortable for the individual? Is a thicker neck easier to play than a thinner one for someone with big hands? I'd not really considered it, but I think so. I think probably yes, because I use thicker necks on things, and I have a very much what I describe as a grip-based style of playing. The back of the neck is most often in the palm of my hand, and I rest my thumb over the top a lot because I use it a lot when I'm playing. When you compare that to playing on like an Ibanez neck, like a wizard profile neck, where it's a lot thinner, you don't get that comfortable grip on it, and it encourages you to play more with a thumb on the back. But when you do that, when you have that thumb on the back, you naturally start to introduce strain here, even if it's only this much, the tiny levels of strain here, and over time that starts to add up. And also when I have my hand behind the neck, it encourages me to open my hand up and play wider stretch things, whereas when I have my hand over the top and I have this slightly more side-on approach, it kind of dictates the way I play, and I like that. I like kind of limiting what I'm able to play technically, because it keeps me in check. I know that might sound ridiculous, but genuinely that's how I feel. Having said that, when you say, or is it totally down to what's comfortable for the individual, that's really your answer. Like, because I could sit here and say that when you're saying thicker and thinner necks for someone with bigger hands, what that would lead itself to suggesting is that if a thicker neck is better for bigger hands, then would a thinner neck be better for someone with small hands? And I don't think that the thickness of the neck has a whole lot to do with the comfort of playing a neck. The width of the neck will impact that more, for the size of your hands. So that's what I'd say. Dr. Mr. Mayonnaise or Ormsby? I've been waiting for questions like this to come in. You missed a brand out there though. You missed a Vigier out. I'm in this position right where I don't have to choose, because I'm not endorsed by Mayonnaise and I'm not endorsed by Ormsby, and I'm not actually I am endorsed by Vigier. I do have an endorsement deal with them, but I've kind of let that lapse a little bit, because I came to that realization that endorsements aren't for me, because I'm so much more about playing what I like. And sometimes what I like is not the guitar that I happen to have, right? Obviously, there's a Mayonnaise behind me right now, and I've got a custom Ormsby on the way from working with Perry on some stuff, which is cool, right? And I'm buzzing for that, because I genuinely do love the Ormsby stuff, just like I genuinely love the Mayonnaise stuff. But a lot of the time, I just want to play a Telecaster, or I want to get out my hollow body, my Gibson Howard Roberts. If I needed to record some like top level shred stuff, I'm gonna go for my Vigier, because that's my number one. That's my baby. That's, of all of the guitars I have, it's hard to even describe. That guitar is like a part of me, because it's part of who I am. It's been with me through all the hard times. So that guitar is like very special to me, and it is genuinely a very, very good guitar. With the Mayonnaise stuff, I've got a bunch of Mayonnaise guitars that I really like. I play my Hydra, the headless one, more than any of the others, but that's for no reason other than that what do I own? I own 2 Regis guitars, 3 Regis guitars. I own 2 6-string Regis guitars. I own an 8-string Regis guitar, and I own a 7-string Duvel. Now, with those, they are all in different tunings, right? Well, the 2 6-strings are tuned to drop C. The 7-string is tuned to John Brown's B-flat Dadgad variation tuning, and the 8-string it's either in John Brown's F tuning or it's in standard tuning. But obviously I don't play that very much. So those guitars are for a very different thing, right? Whereas, like, when my Ormsby shows up, if my Ormsby ever shows up, that's like for a totally different thing. So I'm not sure why you're asking. If the question is like, you're looking to buy one, and you don't know which one's right for you, it depends on what you need, what you're seeking from a guitar. They're both very different guitars. I don't think they're fair comparisons, because the Mayonnaise stuff you'd have to be comparing the Mayonnaise custom shop stuff, which is all of it, to Perry Ormsby's handcrafted custom stuff, because when we talk Mayonnaise versus Ormsby, like, I have handcrafted Mayonnaise guitars. Well, my Ormsby guitars are manufactured overseas, and then they're sent to Australia for final checks and setups and before they're sent out. So it's a slightly different, like, quality difference. Not that there's low quality in the Ormsbys, but you know what I'm getting at, like, in terms of what that does to the price of a guitar. There's like a significant difference between them. So yeah, anyway. I just sent you a few instrumental clips from a friend of mine. See what you think. If it's up my street, it's blue. Where did you send it to me, Ray, the guitar? Was it on? Oh. Might have been email, maybe. Let's have a look. Yeah. It's very strange. I've just got an email from YouTube telling me about my own video that's now live on my channel. It doesn't say now live on a channel you enjoy or anything like that. It literally says now live on your channel. No shit. I'm not going to play those now, Ray, just because I don't want to be broadcasting someone's music. He says right before he sits and transcribes other people's music. But I will check that out and I'll let you know how I get on. Right. Salted caramel M&Ms. Don't know how I feel about those. The thing, Dr. Mister, with the Ormsby is it's not... So when it turns up, like I'm not really going to be focused on doing a review of the guitar. What I'm really going to be focused on is doing a follow-up and comparing... two 7-string guitars, because I've got 7-string from Ormsby coming. 2 7-string guitars, one with fan frets and one with parallel frets. Because obviously I did the fan fret video before, but I was comparing 6-string guitars, and now with the hundreds of thousands of views that video has had, I know what it is that people really want to see. So that's the focus of that. No, Ray, if it was your music and you said, yeah, listen to it on the show, on the stream, I absolutely would. I have no problem doing that. Anyway, so why don't we get on with some work, right? So I have this Joe Bonamassa thing that I need to do for a client. So let's do it. So it sounds like this. Let's make sure this plays. Now, these types of things are usually my least favourite things to transcribe for obvious reasons, right? It's free time. Now, that doesn't mean that I hate doing free time stuff. It's more I hate second guessing myself, because it would be easy to try and listen to this and try to find the pulse, right? Which obviously will change. The pulse will shift. He'll be increasing in speed, slowing down. There'll be pauses where it doesn't add up. Yeah, so I can confidently transcribe this, right? But it will be in terms of like what you might consider as like note roadmaps, if you like. I will be it's like a lick, but not with as much rhythm. Give you a rough idea of the rhythm that you want to go with, but this is free time in nature. So let's take a look at it. There's so many ways you can interpret that, right? I'm hearing it as like 12/8. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. It's just not. So getting caught up in that will just fuck you up for no reason. So now that just gives me an idea, right? You bend the 12, you hold the 12 up, the 12 rests. We'll put some vibrato on it. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see it. The 12 holds with vibrato for a bit, and then before the end, before moving on to the next phrase, we hit 10 and 10 on the B and high E strings. Now, we play the note, we re-pick it, twice. You could be pedantic and put pick strokes in here, you know, up, down. But that's what I hear. So again, just to keep things neat on the page, I'm going to have that last for the rest of the bar. And then the quicker phrase that we move into, I'll put that in its own bar. So I kind of want to write that as a triplet. There's kind of like a bend on that, just a tiny little. Oh, read my comments. Covers. I mean, all I do is play shitty blues, right? So it's all covers. Now I'm going to zoom out so we can actually, you know, see the entire thing. Hopefully that should be enough for you to, you know, follow. If I move this over here, I should. Nope. Doesn't want to show me comments. Well, that's a bit shitty. We'll go like that. Well, that works. Right. So that gives us a rough sort of fingering roadmap, if you like, of those first couple of phrases. You might think of that as being two phrases, right? Phrase 1, phrase 2. Oh. The rhythm. Da 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 ba ba. Oh. So I'm just totally not worried about how long these last for. Copy paste, move that up a. Now I'm just perceiving. I'm just perceiving. just perceiving this as being... as that being where beat 1 is, right? Oh. Worst thing you can do in a setting like this is be second guessing yourself. Plays that 3 times. Oh. Great example there of like a phrase that you really want to be an a beat longer. You'd really prefer this to be a bar of 5/4, but when I'm dealing in 3 time stuff like this, I just don't worry about it. Doesn't move up with those, stays at 10. So the video is out of sync. I can fix that though, right? We talked about this. The video is early, so we want to move the video that way. Oh no, wrong way. 10 frames that way. That's better. More in time. Let's see what's going on other pages. I've transcribed a fair few of these Bonamassa Instagram videos for this guy. This is not a good one. use 16th notes for some of this. Why not? Why not make the 16th notes? Because it gives that impression that... Oh, my face is going to be in the way, isn't it? It gives that impression that, you know, this is exciting, this is fast. What's he doing there? Let's make this... I hate it when I have to do this. Splitting a line sort of midway. Okay. So, how am I doing? Now, if you're anything like me, you're probably not enjoying doing this anymore. So I am going to move on to the Beatles thing, okay? So I'm just going to mark the file out here in Transcribe. Just pressing M for measure. I'm going to do that. It's 2 minutes. I'm going to do that and turn my volume down so I can eat some M&Ms. Sounds like this.
Look at all the lonely people. Look at all the lonely people. Look at all the lonely people. Eleanor Rigby picks up the rice in a church where a wedding has been. Lives in a dream, waits at the window, wearing a face that she keeps in a jar by the door. Who is it for? All the lonely people. Where do they all come from? All the lonely people. Where do they all belong? Father Mackenzie, writing the words of a sermon that no one will hear. No one comes near, look at him working, donning his socks in the night when there's nobody there. What does he care? All the lonely people. Where do they all come from? All the lonely people. Where do they all belong? Look at all the lonely. Look at all the lonely people. Look at all the lonely people. Eleanor Rigby died in the church and was buried along with her name. Nobody came. Father Mackenzie wiping the dirt from his hands as he walks from the grave. No one was saved. No one was saved. All the lonely people, where do they all come from? All the lonely people, where do they all belong? No one was saved.
So, talk about fair use, right? That is not fair use. I mean, it doesn't usurp the original market, but no one's going to come to this instead of listening to the original. But sitting and playing an entire track, it's probably not fair use, right? And make it bigger, because we only need the guitar, right? Now, the goal here was to do the voice and the guitar, so it gives us something fun to look at, right? You see comments. No more comments in. Fine, cool. Why the hell does it still think I'm playing Bonamassa? Oh, okay, there you go. Right, so yeah, beautiful arrangement. Absolutely stunning arrangement. Really enjoy it. I can't stop eating these M&Ms now.
Look at all the lonely people.
So I'm just checking that low E string is an E. Yes, cool, he's in standard tuning. So let me go up here, we'll go new, we'll go acoustic guitar, steel string. Let's take a look at it. So, now when I looked at his original sound slice transcription of this, it was done wrong. Not that any of the notes were wrong, but just in terms of the concept of multi-voice writing. So if you really study what's going on here, it's so beautifully multi-voiced between his thumb and his fingers. The thumb is its own part, and the fingers are their own part.
Look at all the lonely people.
Now the intro is not a good example of that actually, because they work together. But as you get into it,
Look at all the lonely people.
the bass.
Eleanor Rigby picks up the rice in a church where a wedding has been. Lives in a dream, waits at the window, wearing a face that she keeps in a jar by the door. Who is it for? All the lonely people. Where do they all come from?
So I would be inclined to try and keep this as much to that as possible. So let's take a look.
Look at all the lonely people.
So it's just descending. Now you have subdivide these by 4. Thank you very much. I just want to try something actually. So if we do this and we go markers, compute tempo. Amazing. Didn't know the software did that. Great. That will save me time in future. Thank you, Holger. Yeah, sorry. Now I'm just dealing with melody here, right? Ba ba ba. Now where's he play that? That's fine. Okay, so I'm just going to continue on. We'll come back and deal with the bass part in a second, but you'll see how these two parts interweave. Whoops. Okay, so there's your basic melody, the melody that he's playing there. Tempo was what, 148? Cool. I am also going to beam them as eighth notes in fours, as you'd expect. Now, on its own, it functions as a melody, right? It does function. But if we do the bottom part, so this is written here, up here in voice 1. Now I can control voices by going either clicking these numbers or by pressing Control 2 for the second voice, right? Now, when I put notes in here, they're going to point downwards like this. Now, this isn't what he's playing, to be clear, but just to give you an idea, that pretty much is what he's playing, but you'll see what I mean. Now, when I come up here and I press multi-voice or Control M, now we have separate voices, where the bass and the melody are separated. And this makes processing what's going on much, much easier. Now, I don't like the mess that's happening here. Both notes are playing as C, but for some reason they sort of fight each other. Look at that. Oh, maybe I'm just paranoid. That looks thicker. It looks like they're not sitting over each other. Still unsure. Anyway, so if we actually look at what he's doing, so I'm going to bring up voice 2. I'm going to delete all of that. Okay, and I'm going to actually write the part in. Now, he isn't playing anything in that bass part until this fourth 16th note there. But when that happens, what's going on? Oh, just got a dot on there. I thought that was weird. When that happens, this bass note is held. And then this C bass note is played on beats 2, 3 and 4. So it ties across here, and we play beats 2, 3 and 4. And then now, this is actually quite tricky to get it exactly as played. I'm going to put a staccato dot on that. If you look at this part, these sort of ring into each other. I would be more inclined to use actual let ring, because I think it, although it does add ink, it adds less ink to the notes, so you can see what's going on a little bit clearer. So he's not doing anything, and then we're playing bass, 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 bass. Now we have what he's playing. Okay, there we go. Now, inevitably, with Guitar Pro, it doesn't play it even... Is my voice a bit low? I can try. How's that? A little bit louder? But I'm not done with this. I mean, that is what he plays. Like I say, Guitar Pro, dreadful. These bass notes, they're not quite palm muted. Or are they? Okay, they're palm muted. But here... I don't want to go in and put palm mute on these, because you could do that by going like this, and you could then go like this. But you see what that does to the overall look. You just add in all these unnecessary PM, 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 PM. I don't think it does the music any justice. And that's our job, right? Our job is to do the music justice. You are very welcome, FIFA Lass HD. So now what I want to do is I want to add the vocal part. So we're going to go track, we're going to go add, and you can put absolutely anything in here, but we will put a voice in because they sound dreadful. And we want... Where the hell are voices? I'm confused. Huh. We'll go with flute, because flutes tend to sound the least offensive. Wind. Am I missing something here? There we go. In there somehow. So we just have that in. Now, we got two ways we can do this. One would be with just notation, and one would be we could put tab in just to make our life easier, if that would make your life easier. But I'm just going to deal with notation, right? So what I'm looking to do here is understand, like, imagine you're sat at a piano and you have to play this vocal melody, taking away all of the human aspect of it. How would we just play this melody on a piano? Now it's high, we find the note. Spot on. What? Ba, 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 ba. That's an F sharp. How do I do that in Guitar Pro like that? Da 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 da. Now pulse is important, right? Ba 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 ba. So it's harmonizing the guitar part. Now, like the people, it shifts down. Now I'd have that probably like this. Okay, and then the fourth bar is a rest. Now we're starting to get somewhere. Now when I look at this, guitar is just so horrible. It just sounds so bad, but it's correct. Make the vocals stick out a little bit more. I'm going to take some of the high end off of the guitar in the EQ section, which you do here. Graphic EQ. Okay, now starting to do a much better job of representing the piece, right? I hate modal key signatures, but I think we might just have to do it. Yeah, let's do it. Let's put it in G major, E minor, sorry. Now, why is that showing up as an F sharp? It should automatically show up as an F sharp. Okay, fine, cool. Now with that basic understanding down, we should be able to plough on at a relative pace.
I look at all the lonely people.
Okay, same basic idea.
All the lonely people. Eleanor Rigby.
So I'm just going to copy that guitar part and then fix it. It'll save me a lot of time. A lot of hassle. It actually doesn't hit this E here, so I'm do the piece justice. He plays. But he does hit this C here as its own entity. Okay, so there's melody on the top. Same melody, right, but he's just an octave lower. So let's put that in. Still playing the bass under it?
Eleanor Rigby.
Okay, vocal melody.
I look at all the lonely people.
No, it will be pedantic. You probably come in. We put like a slur on there, but same vocal melody.
People.
And then we're into the verse, so we can copy and paste that vocal melody. Cool. So, see what we got. I'm going to turn the click off. Cool. Right, now we get into the verse. So let's listen to it a couple of times.
Eleanor Rigby picks up the rice in a church where a wedding has been. Lives in a dream, waits at the window, wearing a face that she keeps in a jar by the door. Who is it for all alone?
Such a ridiculously good song. Anyone that doesn't think the Beatles are one of the most important and influential songwriters of our generation, I say our generation, like of course the Beatles were around way before I was born. But you know what I'm getting at, like one of the most important bands of our time. You know, you're insane.
Eleanor Rigby.
So I'm actually just going to do the vocal melody because that'll be easy. I should bring the vocal melody up on its own. And again, how would I do this if I was playing on a piano? That's the way I always think about vocals. Da 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 da, ba 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 da 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 da.
Eleanor,
Ba da 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 ba ba ba.
Eleanor Rigby,
He's a little bit sharp on that. So da 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 da.
Eleanor,
But to me, it's da 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 ba 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 da 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 da. So let's find it.
be a pix, be a pix,
I don't like.
be
Yeah, picks up
picks up
the
the
right.
right,
Da
picks
da
up
da
the
da.
right.
Ba 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 ba. That's a skill. Can you do it? If the answer is no, you need to practice. Ba 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 ba. Not as a singer, because I'm not a singer. But hear a melody and have internalized it. Ba 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 ba.
The rice in a jar,
Ba ba da da. Da 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 da.
rice in a
Da 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 da. Ba ba.
rice in a church where
Ba.
where a wedding,
Da da da.
wedding,
Again, he's sharp, but
wedding has been.
da 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 da.
Wedding has been.
Then we'll hold this across for. Oh no, wrong note.
Lives in a dream.
We just do this. Da da
Lives
da
in a
da.
dream.
Da 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 da.
Lives in a dream. Dream.
It does hold that for the rest of the bar. Again, magic when you think about it. From an analysis perspective, before we do absolutely anything, we know that if I bring up the full score, now what I'm doing here is I'm really analysing the Beatles, right? But we know harmonically that what we have going on here is, why have I written that all in voice 2? That's annoying, isn't it? Let's get that. Let's Control X that. Let's put it in voice 1. Cool. So we know harmonically that the harmony here, this is a C, right? And this is an E minor. Okay, same again. C. Oh, shouldn't do it on the guitar. Needs to be on the vocal. C. E minor, right? Cool. C and E minor. C and E minor. Well, interestingly, here, when we're just playing over this E minor chord, he hits this C sharp, and that conflicts with the melody, right? That conflicts with the harmony that we've already been presented. What you would expect, C and E minor, they can be in the same key, right? They could both easily be in the key of E minor, G major. They could both be in the key of C. This is very much in the key of E minor because you've got an F sharp being played. So what that means is you hear this in relation to that E minor. I think that's how you hear it. E, F, G, A, B, C. Yeah, so it's like flat 6 and 1 minor, common chord progression. Point is, when you hit this E minor, after hearing this, that C doesn't sound too offensive. I mean, you'd rather it drop down to B over that E minor chord. But what that means is you hear this E minor chord as being like an Aeolian vibe, an Aeolian chord, because it is. You have C natural against it. Does he actually play a C natural anywhere against it? Doesn't actually play a C natural against it, but it's the implied harmony. But when the verse comes in, it gets thrown on its head because you assume. You just assume it's that same vibe. So that's that major sixth, rather than being. Let's see if I can do this. What's melody? D, C sharp. Do it higher. If you could go ba 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 da 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 ba da da. There you go. Da 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 da. That'd be an Aeolian melody. Da 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 da. But it's not the melody that the Beatles went for. The Beatles went for ba da 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 da, which is playful, really playful, because it gives you that Dorian, right? It's the major 6 over a minor chord. So very nice. Patrick's online. Hey Levi, what a pleasure to see you working your magic on this beautiful arrangement. It's a beautiful arrangement. The Beatles wish they were wings. Cool.
Picks up the rice in a church where a wedding is being.
And again, just to throw praise at the Beatles, this phrase, when you look at it, it's 5 bars long. Da 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 da. Da 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 da, and repeats on that 6th bar. We don't expect that. Like, that's not what you expect in pop music. You expect melodies to be 4 bars long. They do that often. Not often, but if I do the bars that I'm doing, da 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 da, and so 5 bar phrase. They do the same on Yesterday. Yesterday is a 7 bar phrase. Da da da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Boom ba da da. That's yeah. Who's oh cool. Like when people PayPal me money. 7 bar phrase. Because that's the point. That it's not rules. The Beatles didn't write songs that followed rules. They wrote songs. For some reason, I left a whole line there. Don't want that. So if I check that, this should play right? Now, yeah, so I followed his vocal there, and I don't like that. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. But that is what he does. Very nice. So
Picks up the rice in a
let's do his guitar. Easy. Super easy.
Look at all the lonely people. Eleanor Rigby picks up the rice in a church where a wedding is being.
So it's all just an E minor chord, right? But I still will separate those. I will have the bass part and then the melody part in a separate voice. Now I put staccato dots on them because they would be. They are played staccato. Then you got the cool part.
In a church where a wedding is being.
So obviously the bass part there, right? Heavy palm mute on that. It sounds actually like palm mute on the now, because we're not being interrupted by notes that aren't played with a palm mute. I don't mind putting a palm mute over this. See, I didn't know that earlier. It's it's an odd one because I don't consider myself to be a huge Beatles fan. I don't have a favourite Beatles album. My favourite Beatles album is Best of the Beatles, or One. It's called One. I've never considered myself a Beatles fan at all, but I love a lot of their music. So I can honestly say I've never sat and listened to a Beatles album that wasn't a best of from start to finish, and I still appreciate them for how important they were.
The wedding has been. Lives in a dream, 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 lives in a dream.
So it's like he holds this for the 2, and then we get two more of those staccato notes. Now we just put this melody in the first voice.
Where a wedding has been.
So switch into a C chord.
Bing.
I'm not. Is he just playing? Yeah, it's just those 2 notes. They're not staccato actually, they ring out.
Lives in a dream, lives in a dream, lives in a dream.
Nice. Does play these staccato.
Lives in a dream.
And then back to this. Cool. So. Cool. All works.
Lives in a dream, waits at the window.
Now again, I'm just reading back over this. I'm following each part individually, like that really, to see if there's variation. Because if there's variation, cool. I need to do it. But if there's any parts that I can copy, wonderful.
Waits at the window, wearing a face that she keeps in a jar by the door. Who is it for? Who is it for?
So the vocal melody is the same.
Waits at the window, lives in a dream. Waits at the window, wearing a face that she keeps in. Wearing a face, wearing a face that she keeps.
Does he put in a middle note in there?
Waits at the window. Waits at the window. Wearing a face that she keeps in a jar by the door.
There's some slight variation here.
In a jar by the door. In a jar by the door.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the vocal melody because it's the same. I'm going to copy the guitar part and then I'm just going to change it where necessary. So it changes.
In a jar by the door.
It's voice 1, and I'll just get rid of these.
By the door. By the door. By the door.
Same here.
Who is it for? All the lonely people.
And then you have that E minor, same thing again. E minor with the 7th on top.
All the lonely people. Where do they all come from? All the lonely people. Where do they all belong?
Very nice. From an analysis perspective, very nice. So let's do the All the Lonely People. Not that high. All the lonely people.
All the lonely people.
Where do they all come from?
All the lonely people.
Where do they all belong?
All the lonely.
Same. Let's do vocal melody because the stuff's easy, right? So, ba da 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 da, ba da 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 da. 1, 2, and 4 and. Ba 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 E. That would make sense, right? Ba ba. Where do da da ma ma ma.
Where do they all come?
Na. It's a 5th. That's not an octave. Apparently it is. Yeah, it's an octave.
Where do they all?
Da 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 da. It's bluesy. Da 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 da.
They all come,
Ba 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 ba
all come from.
We'll have that tie across because we can. It's 4-bar phrase here, right? Repeat.
All the lonely people. Where do?
So I'll copy paste and then I'll just fix.
Where do?
Oh, stretch that out. And then I don't know if I can do this in notation. I never really use notation in Guitar Pro. It'd be nice if I could. No, I can't. And you can do this with Alt, Shift, and up. So if I go Alt, Shift, and up, can I do that over here? That'd be easier. Oh, it's gone. No, Alt, Shift, and yeah, cool. That works.
Where do they all?
Da 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 da. Na.
Do they all? They all. Do they? Do they? Do they all belong? They all be. All be. All belong.
I need to approach that.
They all be.
Yeah, I like How can I not?
They all be,
don't like this. That's better. Cool. So there's our.
belong. Father
Then we
McKay.
go into another verse. So let's do the guitar part.
All belong.
Now, much easier if we deal with the bass part. If I look at the bass part, bum,
All
bum,
the
bum.
lonely people. Where do they all come from? All the
So we've got 3 bars, voice 2. And then in this final part,
from.
I've transcribed a ton of Symphony X, man, and no more difficult than anything else. That's where the bass notes fall there.
All the lonely people. Where do they all belong?
One,
All
two,
the lonely
three,
people.
1, 2, 3.
Where do they all belong?
Okay, so in the second one, we do the same basic idea, but in that 3rd bar, you have that.
All belong.
Same part there. Now already that's going to start to shape up. Oh, what are we on there? Sounds weird without the melody against it. Now if you put the fingers to that, so it's just a held chord, right? Is he playing in E? Is he playing in E? Ah, no, he's playing the top 3 strings, which makes sense. So 1, 2, 3, and. That ties across.
Where do
It's actually not staccato.
where do they all come from? They all come from.
That's just like a C. So from an analysis perspective, because we want to put harmony in, right? Or we didn't do it here, did we? This would be an E minor. And it stays on E minor. I guess I'd call this a C. Resolving back to E minor there. That repeats, so fine. In fact, there's a cheeky way I can do that. I can copy, and here I can do a special paste, which is Control Shift and V, and I tell it to put the chords in. That saves me a bit of time. Didn't change anything in that melody, did I? No. Okay, here, harmony-wise, we've got E minor 7. Now this, you could call this like an E minor 6, but, I think you're going to have to call it an E minor 6. I was going to say you could call it an A major over E, A over E, but it's really like an A7 over E. That would work, but yeah, E minor 6. We'll go with E minor 6. E minor 6. This chord would be a C over E, so it's a C triad with an E in the bass.
They all come from
Now melody, right? So ba ba ba. These ring into each other, which is kind of cool.
all the lonely people.
Now, same basic idea,
All the
but the voicings it uses changed.
all the
So this is a if you want to be really pedantic, you could do something like this. It should just be on the top voice. Is there no way I can do that?
all the lonely people. All the lonely people. All the lonely people. All the lonely.
No, Markle 2K, because I'm not using the Beatles track. I'm using the track by, I forget the guy's name actually. I've used clips of his in previous. I used a clip of his in the last stream. It just gets monetized by their publisher. So
Only people.
this gives you a much better idea of the harmony. It's clearly an A triad with an E in the bass, which was what I mentioned back here.
Only people. Where people.
Hey Richard, how's it going? I mean, you're not really late. I'm early.
Where do they all belong? Where do they all be? Where do they all?
This is nice, like an A minor 7 over E. But we're thinking in terms of C over E. Just like a C13.
Do they all belong? Do they all belong?
Z.
Where do
So we rake this, roll on it. Now really I want that arpeggiate to be just on that top chord.
they all belong? Father,
Double stops. Love double stops, right?
long, all belong.
I need to get this in sync. That's annoying me.
All belong. Father Mackenzie, writing the word.
Okay, it's in sync.
All belong. Belong.
in E minor. Cool. Right, so now we've got up to the second verse.
Father Mackenzie writing.
Now, the reason I love this arrangement so much is because he doesn't, you know, when I'm usually doing these live transcription things, it's like, cool, now we play the verse again, and I just do a copy-paste. But in this particular instance, what he plays isn't just what he did in the first verse, which was da, 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 da. He now gets a lot more involved.
Father Mackenzie writing the words of a sermon that no one will hear. No one comes near.
He's harmonising his voice.
Donning his socks in the night when there's nobody there.
Does he play
Why
this
does
section
he care?
the same?
All
No.
the lonely people.
Rich chords.
Where do they
Nice.
all come from? All
Hello?
the lonely people.
Nice, jazzy.
Where do
Hello.
they all belong? Ah, look at all the lonely people.
That's the gaff. He kind of fucked that bit up, but, you know, still. Credit where credit is due. Done a nice job. So, let's have a listen to what we've got so far. That's good. So I'm just seeing what I like it when I get emails about Lance Benedict. Who was this from? Oh, I had warned you people. Dear Mr. Hussey, the Washington State Department of Financial Institutions Securities Division is the state agency that regulates the offer and sale of franchises offered, sold, and or operated in the state. It has come to my attention that you may have purchased a franchise territory for the state of Washington and are doing business under the name TTM Guitars Franchise Washington State with a website. I would like to confirm that you did purchase a franchise business to be operated in the state of Washington. I would appreciate it if you would let me know if there is a time and telephone number that I could give you a call. With your permission, I would also like to review a copy of your franchise agreement. Follow-up email. Oh, hang on, what's the date on this then? That was June 19th. Follow-up email. Recent one. Mr. Hussey, my colleague, Martin Cordell, sent you the email below a few months ago inquiring about your purchase of a TTM Guitars franchise. If you have time in the coming weeks, I would appreciate it if you could please contact me to discuss your purchase of a TTM Guitars franchise. Washington's Franchise Investment Protection Act provides protections to franchises like yourself. I'd be happy to discuss these protections and the Act with you during our call. Our office does not have any concerns at this time about your compliance with the Act. I fucking warned these people. I warned them. Why don't they listen? Why don't people listen to me? I usually have a good idea what I'm talking about. Oh, sorry. Cool. So let's do the next verse.
Father Mackenzie.
Now, vocal-wise, you would expect this to be the same, so I'll just check it.
Father Mackenzie, writing the words of a sermon that no one will hear. No one comes near.
Okay, so there's a slight variation in the melody. It's a triplet. Ba-da-da-da.
No one comes. No one comes near.
Da,
No
da,
one
da,
comes,
da,
no
da,
one
da,
comes.
da, da, da. Name redacted. It's not that you should always listen to Levi with always in capitals. It's that you should always listen to Levi with listen in the emphasis. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm always right. I am. But at least listen to what I say. Take what I say on board and then make a decision. Don't just write me off. I usually know what I'm talking about. I fucking warned you. So see what's going on now. I'm going to look at the bass part.
Father Mackenzie, writing the words of a sermon that no one will hear. No one comes near. Look.
So it's great. Really, really cool. Oh, I'm just going to do that bass part. My ass hurts.
Father Mackenzie, Father Mackenzie, Father Mackenzie, Father Mackenzie, right, Father Mackenzie.
Okay, so the bass part, we have... Now this note here is really helping to play the melody. We'll put that in, and you'll see what I mean when I do that.
Father Mackenzie, writing the words of a writing the words of a.
So we've got 2 beats of.
Of a sermon that no one will hear.
And
a sermon that no one will.
Fortunately, we just got copy paste like that.
No one will hear.
And that's the same as here. Well, at least the bass part is. So I can, because I have voice 2 selected, I can just copy and paste the part I need.
No one comes near. No one comes near. Look at him.
Okay, now if we go back and do the melody.
Father Mackenzie. Father Mackenzie.
So it gives you this impression that we're going to be doing the same thing.
Mackenzie. Father Mackenzie.
What we actually have is... Now I'm going to put that melody note in there.
Writing the word. Writing the word. Writing.
He's not harmonizing, he's playing the melody.
Writing the words of a sermon. Writing the words of a sermon that no. Writing the words.
But he is playing. It's not playing the high E, but it sounds like G's in there.
The words of a sermon. The words of.
Oh no, it is in there.
The words of a sermon. A sermon that no. Sermon that sermon. Sermon that no one will hear. A sermon that no one will hear.
Now it continues down, which is kind of cool.
A sermon that no. Sermon that no one will hear. No one, no one.
It would make sense that he's playing.
No one will hear. No one will hear. No one will hear. No one will hear. No one comes. No one comes. No one comes near.
Then we copy paste this. Cool. So it's intricate. It's totally, you know, really intricate, but cool. Keep going.
No one comes near. No one comes. No one comes. No one comes near.
I wasn't paying attention with that melody. Why didn't someone correct me? Ba ba ba. It's ba
No one comes near.
ma.
No one comes near. No one comes. No one comes near. Look at him working, donning his socks in the night when there's nobody there. What does he care?
That's the same as before. The vocal melody is. So copy paste. Really, I should be special paste so I can put the chords in. Okay, now we just have to do that guitar part. So again, looking at the bass part.
No one comes near. Look at.
Now I'm looking at this. I'm just seeing if we can copy this.
Look at him working, donning his socks in the night when there's nobody there. What does he care?
So this is the same, but the part here is different again.
Look at him working, look at him working, donning his socks in the night.
So we have
donning his socks in the night when there's nobody there.
cool.
Donning his look at him working, donning his socks in the night when there's nobody there.
Now melody, lovely.
Look at him working, look at him.
So we go
working. Donning his socks. Donning his socks in the night. In the night when there's no, when there's no. There's nobody, nobody, nobody there, nobody there.
should be the same here.
There. What does he care?
Apart from these aren't staccato, the last part's not staccato. Cool. Now it's the second verse done. And again, just because I like hearing my work. This is why I do what I do, because I love this, you know, the puzzle is done type bit. Eminem break. Cool. Let's keep going.
There, what does he care? All the lonely.
Now, in theory, the bass notes should be the same. Vocal melody should probably be the same. Let's check it. So we're just checking from here the vocal melody.
All the lonely people, where do they all come? All the lonely people, where do they all come from? All the lonely people, where do they all belong?
So yeah, vocal melody the same, copied and pasted. You'd expect the bass part to be the same.
Donning his socks in the night when there's nobody there. What does he care? All the lonely people, all the lonely people, where do they all come from? All the lonely people, where do they all belong?
Let's give it the attention it deserves. So,
all the lonely people, where do they all come? Where do they all, where do they all come from? All the lonely.
so it's not quite what you'd expect it to be. It's I think.
Where do all
bass.
Where do they all come from?
And then he hits, holds them.
All the lonely people, all the lonely people, where do they all belong? All the lonely people, where do they all belong?
So you actually have this to this.
Do they all belong? Belong.
Now, again, on its own sounds weird, but as soon as we add in this, there's a B minor triad.
All the lonely, all the lonely.
Why have I done that again? It's there.
Only people, only people, only.
There's this. Nice chord. It's like an A add 9 type thing.
Only people, where do people, where do
So that.
where do
Yeah.
where do they all come from? Do they all come from? All come all come from? All come from? All come from? All come from? All come from?
Got to get a lettering on that, haven't you?
All the lonely people.
It's nice.
Lonely people. Lonely people. Where do they where do where do they all belong?
I'll read those comments in a second.
Do they all belong?
That's the same melody from here without the slide down. Oh, that should be us there. Let's check it. Cool. Right, let me read these comments, see what's coming. I know all the lyrics now. Good. Great job, Elio. I was impressed. That was... I really enjoyed that. You're a better singer than me. Doesn't take much, does it? Oh, right, we're getting there.
Do they all belong?
Now, I would hope that this is going to be the same as the intro, because that's how guitar arrangements work, right?
Look at all the lonely people. Look at all the lonely people. Eleanor.
So it's close enough that I would probably just do a copy paste. In fact, what I'm more likely to do would be a if we can use directions here, we could go da capo al coda. So da capo meaning da capo to the start, and then go to the start and play until it tells us to go to the coda. And that coda part, it's not really a coda. I hate using the word coda when it's not really coda, because it's not taking us to a coda, but da coda. And then when I do this new section here, I will put a direction and I'll put a coda marking in, and that way when you get here, if I put some nonsense in here, it's going to go. And then it's going to go to that coda section, which is what we want. Now we get the harmonics.
Eleanor Rigby died in the church and was buried along with her name.
This guitar's a little bit out of tune, right? But same principle, right? We just do the bass.
Eleanor Rigby died in the church and was buried along with her name. Nobody came, Father. Nobody came, Father. Nobody came, Father.
I don't like how out of time that is.
Nobody came, nobody came. Nobody came, Father.
It's kind of like a triplet crotchet. Anyway, we deal with harmonics now. You don't want that.
Nobody came. Eleanor Rigby.
So we do the harmonics. So what's that? Apparently it's an E.
Eleanor Rigby died.
1, 2, 3, 4, and.
Died in the church. Died in the church. Died in the church and was buried. Was buried along with. And was buried along with her name. Along with her name.
Is it 5? Nope. 7.
Along with her name.
No.
Nobody came. Nobody came. Nobody came. Nobody came. Nobody came. Father.
We'll go with that. So vocal melody wise again should be the same, right? We double check though.
Eleanor Rigby died in the church and was buried along with her name. Nobody came.
Cool. Same again. Copy paste and Control C. Go to the end. And we're going to Control Shift V so I can put the chords in. That'll do.
Came Father Mackenzie, wiping the dirt from his hands as he walks from the grave. No one was saved. All the lonely people, where do they all come from? All the lonely people.
I love being a cock tease. I might actually not finish this just for shits and giggles. You know, I haven't done in a while. Almost, well, actually since the start. Brought my credits up and said a big thank you to my supporters over on Patreon. Because, yeah, you keep seeing me through these crazy, crazy times. Still not having a studio. I hate not having a proper place that I can work. I've not had music coming out of my speakers in so long because I don't even have my speakers in the house. No, and it breaks my heart. What was I doing? Checking my PayPal. That was it. Still not bankrupt. Just. Keep having to spend so much damn money on stuff. I have to go and spend £80 in Screwfix getting supplies for tomorrow. I hate it. I don't want to keep spending my money on this shit. Anyway, so thank you Patreon supporters. Please do head on over to Amazon and pick up one of my books. Great way to support the channel. That's kind of like, my books form about 50% of my income. So yeah, I really do appreciate all the support there. You know, they get good reviews because people enjoy them, and that makes me want to write more of them. And because I make enough money to live on, like book money, a lot of book money, it means I can spend more time doing stuff like this for you guys that, you know, doesn't, in the grand scheme of things, these videos don't pay money, do they? I do them because I love giving back. So, you know, if you want to give back after me giving back, then go and check out one of my books. And of course, you can always check out VPix, my good friends over at VPix. Anyway, let's do the last bit of this, or some of the last bit.
Came Father Mackenzie, wiping the dirt from his hand as he walks from the grave. No one was saved.
So I'm just going to do the bass part.
Came Father Mackenzie, Father Mackenzie, came Father Mackenzie, Mackenzie.
So it doesn't play anything on the first couple of beats. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and.
Wiping the dirt, wiping the dirt from, wiping the dirt. The dirt from his hand.
Where's he play that? Oh, it's awkward.
From his hand as he walks. As he walks from the grave. As he walks from the grave. Walks from the grave.
Ba ba. Open D.
From the grave. From the grave. No, from the grave. No one was saved.
And put a fermata on that.
From the grave.
Okay, melody.
Nobody came. Father Mackenzie. Father Mackenzie. Wiping the dirt from his hand as he walks from the grave.
So,
Father, nobody came.
play it twice.
Nobody came, Father Mackenzie.
That's illusionary. After that, he's just playing those top notes.
Wiping the dirt from his hand.
Is he? Oh no. Is it B?
His hand as he walks from the grave.
So he's just repeating this over the top. And then he plays it, lets that ring.
From the grave.
And we'd have.
No. No one was saved. No. No one was saved.
Now you really do need. It makes sense actually when you think about it. Remove that because this does there's really like an extra bar after that, but I'm just going to put a fermata in because it suits me.
No one was saved. Oh. Saved. All the lonely people. Where do?
This is literally where I'm going to be a cock tease and say I'm not going to do that this next bit. Vocal melody, make sure that works. I mean, I am going to do it, of course, but I'm going to finish it in the morning because it's nearly midnight here, and then I'm going to upload it to Patreon, to my Patreon guys.
Nobody came. Father Mackenzie wiping the dirt from his hands as he walks from the grave. No one was saved.
It doesn't fit perfectly, just it's the nature of the fermata.
No one was saved.
That'll do. I don't care. It's late, I'm tired, leave me alone. Right, let me save this. So we're going to put this in, not in transcriptions. This is going to go in Patreon. Right, now let's listen to it. Sorry, I was talking there and I realised my mic was down. Sweet, that's me done. But what wrestling? Name redacted. I've not watched any wrestling in absolutely ages. There is actually wrestling I do need to watch. I need to watch ICW's Fight Club because I don't go to the shows anymore. But yeah, I've just not had the time. Too busy playing Magic cards to be to be worrying about that stuff. Anyway, so that's me done. I'm done for the night. So let me bring this up. I'll hang about here for 5 minutes or so. You know, if anyone has any final questions, anything you want to ask me, I'm here. I'm happy to answer it. Hi, Ryan. Woodard rocks. You've tuned in right at the end, bud. I'm just finishing up. But of course, you know, it's one of my streams, so you'll be able to go back and access it. You can watch the entire thing. It will be staying up. And yeah, it was actually a lot of fun. Did some Joe Bonamassa, did some Beatles. Gives you an idea of, you know, what a life in the day of Levi Clay is. It's a lot of this. Just fun. I don't watch any NJPW. Oh, you mean like the main shows, like the actual pay-per-views. I don't watch New Japan. I watched the first episode of NXT UK, and immediately stopped watching it after that first episode for multiple reasons. It was too short. I didn't feel like it was developing story, but more importantly, and call this nerdy, right? I don't know these people. Right, they're not friends of mine, but they are people that I have spent a lot of time watching, and you know what comes with that is an understanding of the character. Okay, so when I go to an ICW show, Wolfgang is a face. Wolfgang is a hero. He wouldn't be seen dead with the Coffee Brothers, right? Then you switch on NXT UK and it's like, okay, Wolfgang's the bad guy now. Right, got ya. Cool, fine. This switching things up. And also just not giving people that I consider to be genuine, like, star level guys, jobbing them out to people that I'm not as keen on. Why watch NXT UK when I can just watch the UK indies, which is what I'm really all about. And no, I've not watched any AEW, none at all. So, soz. Am I going to go see Paul Gilbert on his UK tour? Probably not. I can't think of anything worse, to be honest. I'm not interested in Paul anymore. Not where he is now. I did recently just dig out all of my signed Paul Gilbert and Racer X albums, though. I was listening to some Racer X with Martin Miller the other day. We were jamming Street Lethal. And he's working on some Paul Gilbert-y things, because he likes Paul Gilbert's picking. So he's been doing, like, you know, the harmony on Scarified and picking it all, because he's Martin Miller and he's amazing, and I'm not. I'm just like, hey, you should play Street Lethal, and I pick up a guitar and try and play it, and make it do a terrible job of it. FIFA Lass HD, yeah, of course I do lessons over Skype. You can book lessons over Skype via email privately. They are £30, or alternatively, you can sign up to my Patreon page at the $50 tier, and that gets you a private lesson once a month, plus access to my study club, plus you got my credits roll, plus you get access to my private Patreon only Facebook group, plus you get to download the tabs that I do, like this one. Patreon tabs, not, you know, every tab I've ever done. But you get, you know, access to all of that stuff. So lots of options, lots of things you can do if you want to support me with, and, well, you want Skype lessons. Both of them work for me. I'm fine with that. So just hanging about. Da, 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 da. I need to do a video review of this. And actually, I've half filmed a video a couple of weeks ago, maybe a week and a bit ago. I started a long-term video project, right? So I'm buying and reviewing guitar-related shite from Wish.com, and some of it showed up today. So I'm waiting for the rest of it to show. I think I bought like 8 or 9 things. I'll wait for it all to show up, and then I'll film the second half of the video. But, you know, this is much cooler than the stuff that I got from Wish. But I can't wait for you to see it. It'll be fun. And thank you very much, Ryan. 20k subs. Slow, man. It's been a slow crawl. painfully slow. And all of my peers, I'm seeing them around me just rocketing up, just getting those subs, and they fly in. But for me, it's really slow. It comes real slow. But that's okay, because I love it. I don't do it for any reason other than I love it. That actually, like last month, I was not bitching about, but laughing at the Stevie T fanboys, right? From the sheer level of constant abuse that you get from them, right? Constant, never fucking ends. And I love abusing them back. I love getting shitty with them in the comment section. But your default response, the default comment is to call you jealous and say that the only reason you make content about someone as big as that is because you want their audience. Can you think of any worse way to find an audience, right, than to insult someone with 1.5 million subscribers and then hope that those people see your video? That's not going to end well, is it? It's like the Dave Chappelle thing at the moment. Like I think Vice, someone wrote an article about the new Dave Chappelle stand-up show on Netflix, and they're like, you might as well skip the new Dave Chappelle show. It's not very good. It's just full of misogyny and transphobia and stuff like that. And who do you think you're going to write that for? Who is that being written for? Do you think Dave Chappelle fans are going to read that and go, yeah, I think I'll give this one a miss? Probs not. If anything, it's going to make them want to go and watch it. And for the people that don't like Dave Chappelle, they're going to read the article and go, well, that's one more reason not to watch Dave Chappelle. Like, going after Stevie T and then hoping that his fans are going to see that video. What would be the point? These people are so stupid. But saying that, what would you expect? Most of them are fucking 12. So, let's have a look. Do I find it harder to work out chords than solos? Oh, yeah, 100%, man. 100%. Something I'm getting better at, though. I think that comes with experience, though, right? You hear a chord voicing, and I don't think it's the... I was going to say I don't think it's ever that, but it probably will be one day. Currently, I don't hear a chord voicing and hear each individual note in the chord voicing, if that makes sense. I hear the chord as a whole, and then I can hear it, and I go, yes, I know how I play that sound, if you know what I mean. So, yeah. Chords, yeah, definitely harder. Listen to the Symphony X live album much. Parts of it give you chills. With the Live on the Edge of Forever, I think it's called. Yeah. I've not listened to that in years and years, to be honest. I own it, obviously, on CD, but it was, when I got that, it was, as much as I enjoy it, it's still like, why would I listen to them live when I can listen to the studio recordings? Symphony X are great live, but they're incredible in the studio. So why would I choose to listen to them when they sound great when I can listen to them being incredible? Yeah, the Spamp will be much better quality than the Wish stuff. Tom Hess or Steve Terribleberry. I mean, choose one to what? Depends what you're asking me to choose. If we're talking gunshots, then go Hess. No question about it. I don't think Steve is predatory. I don't think he's trying to take advantage of people or anything like that. I think he's just a fucking goofball trying to make people laugh. Whereas Hess is trying to take advantage of people. Right. Well, I'm going to head, guys. But thank you so much for tuning in. It does mean a lot. I do enjoy doing these. It's amazing that we've only got like 7 people online at the moment, but just the fact that people want to tune in and watch me do the shit that I do is really cool. And I do, I enjoy it. I'll keep doing it. So I feel like my computer wants to crash. No, it's fine. Cool. Right, how do I end this damn thing? There we go. Right, I will see you next month, same time next month. I'll be doing the same thing. Not the same thing, I won't be transcribing this again, but transcribing, talking bollocks. Looking forward to it. I'm going to go and walk my dogs and then play some Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And then finish this off and maybe, I don't know. I'm going to do something, but I'm not going to be streaming. So, much love, guys, and I will talk to you soon. Laters.